Spencer. I'm dying to be your light.
And this is The Itch, and we're here to review
Dying Light. It's so adorable. So Dying Light was made by Techland, the guys behind Dead Island, a Polish developer, and it was published by Warner Bros. The Bros, last name Warner.
Warner dudes.
Warner dudes. Their entire lineage has been men, so they can always be bros. So
The
first
of one for females.
Oh god. Oh god. First things first, I'm the realist. I've had about 25 hours into the game. I'm sorry. I've had 25 hours roughly into the game, a little bit more than that. I have two different characters. I play with my friend on one, and I play with myself all the time. The story's almost done pretty much. Finalizing whether or not I'm like, oh, well, I do story or side quests, or I'm just gonna fucking beat it. It's first of its franchise, but if you've played Dead Island, you know where I'm going. What are you laughing about?
They eat their young. Warner Bros. If they're female.
God damn. We're sorry. We're sorry. So you play as Kyle Crane. Kyle Crane is the main character, voiced by Chris Redfield, or Sonic, if you play Super Smash Brothers. And he's pretty much this like everyday kind of guy's guy who has a conscience and all that stuff. He's a secret agent, technically, working for the GRE, who sent him on a mission to find a cure for the virus that, zombifies everyone. Story plot twist that you can see coming a mile away. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. But pretty much the entire objective of the game is that you have to maneuver around these zombies. You have to navigate through the city and the zombies at the same time. They're different beasts. And you have the ability of parkour! Because naturally, you're just... Yes. So, obviously, like I said, the game contains parkour. The elements of the game, you hold R1 to jump.
Oh.
Or you hit R1 to jump. You hold it to... You have to look at a ledge to grab said ledge. So there's that level of allowing you to specify which ledges or areas you want to grab
So
onto.
there's no blind ledge grabbing?
No.
This is next gen.
But, I mean, technically there is, if you just hold R if you're falling off a level. And then suddenly, got it! So I guess it works out. And then also there's a level of combat in there, obviously, it being Dead Island-esque. The primary concern is melee weapons, but there are also firearms. However, not the biggest focal point. A lot of it is based around melee combat, the gadgets that you can craft, like firecrackers to throw off zombies, flares to attack the guys at night, and whatnot, because they're sensitive to UV rays and all that shit, or lights. Speaking of nighttime's fucking amazing. So the game has a basic day and night cycle. When the game turns to night, shit gets real. Okay, your experience points are doubled, allowing you to upgrade one of three possible choices, which is agility, well, two, agility or power. Survival comes from turning in quests or doing random like side quest missions, like helping survivors. It turns to night. You fight a new breed of zombies, or zombie. I forget their name, but they're these Blade 2 ripoffs that have these like mouths that come out down here, sort of like Resident Evil. There's more 5, I think. Where they pop down. Oh, and look, we got Chris Redfield, so it works out. So fuck it. And pretty much, that was probably the first time in a very long time I've actually been scared or jumped. Like it's because they introduce it to you in a quest where you're just like you're doing something and you're like, hurry up, it's getting dark, and you're like, what the fuck do I care? Like whatever. Like, oh, there's gonna be more zombies at night, and then these motherfuckers come out and they're just chasing you from the get go, and you're like, oh god damn! And there's actually an option to turn around and look, and on single player it slows down. And the first time I ever did it, all I see is like these motherfuckers just jumping and leaping like, and on
that sound.
Yeah, it's so fucking scary when the first time you do it, and you're just like, it was novelty. It felt great. Unfortunately, that kind of dies down. I'll get into that in the pros and cons a little bit later. Visually, the game looks great. The day-to-night cycle is great. It feels natural. You got a watch on that helps tell you too. So it's like when it turns, I believe it's 8 o'clock at night, which is $2,100.
What?
20
Oh, okay.
Your fucking thing starts beeping, and that's pretty much your cue to get out of Dodge, or these motherfuckers are gonna show up and start chasing your ass.
Military term.
Yeah, slums and cities is a big thing that I don't agree with in the game, but it is there. When you initially start off playing the game, you're in more of a slum kind of settings. There's a few little beach areas, but for the most part, it's just slums. You know, rickety old houses and shit like that. Halfway, or not really halfway, as you progress through the game, you move on to the city area, which I felt personally should have been the starting area. I'm not gonna lie, it didn't. It felt a little out of place. I would rather the slums be like where all the hardcore motherfuckers are, and you can't run as much, you know, or you have to be more creative. But in the city, you can outsmart people. So it's pretty much cake. Zombies look fucking disgusting, so that's good. Especially when those motherfuckers jump in your face. They're like, they look great and disgusting. The characters look detailed as well. The way they're not the best facially maneuverability, but it's not terrible. It's just not on your Last of Us or, well, let's face it, Naughty Dog usually does good with those things. So yeah, again, voiced music and sound wise, you're voiced by Chris Redfield. Hearing him curse is definitely a breath of fresh air. Music kind of picks up when you're on important missions or when it turns to night and you're getting your ass chased or hunted and shit. So that's cool. When something serious is happening, that's when it usually happens. You're like, oh my god! Voice acting as a whole is kind of okay. You get different accents here and there. It's supposed to take place in a fictional city in Turkey. So you get a nice blend of different accents and whatnot. You get your sort of, I guess, Middle Eastern kind of sounding people. And then you also get your random token British guys.
Love it.
A parkour instructor. I was just here as a parkour instructor. Yeah, whatever. Fuck off.
Wherever you get your jollies.
So, obviously, it's a game I'd recommend playing with surround sound, or if you have like headphones that you can put on if you have PS4, or if you have Turtle Beach for your Xbox One, or some sort of good set of headphones on your PC. Because you can hear a lot of the sound of the zombies that they make. You can tell where something's coming from pretty well, if you have good ears anyway. I do. So that well, they're all right when I'm not blowing them out with rap and rock music. Darn. But it is there.
Rappers.
In the end, the game as a pro is visually appealing. It looks nice. It's great to see the cycle progress, the day to night cycle. It's nice to see the zombies. There's a lot of detail as far as like if you're in an area that is like heavily zombified, you see zombie corpses left and right. It's great to see, and whatnot. Nighttime is great. I love getting fucking just hunting at night. It's great. There's nothing like just being chased by 1,000 people and doing the game and the objectives there. It's more of a challenge. It's the difficulty setting. Combat satisfying. It's nice to hit people and you get this, like, if you hit them in the head, you get this, like, skeletal thing if you purchase the skill. And it's like, whoa, wow, look at that.
I noticed one thing when I was watching it. There's something called hit detection. And it was an immediate turnoff for me when I was looking at the game.
Yeah.
That hit detection was kind of like Elder Scrolls, where you can hit them and it doesn't seem to do anything.
Well, see, the thing is that has to do with the auto-aim feature. If you have auto-aim on, it helps you to hit roughly in that area.
Yeah.
If you turn off auto-aim, it's really realistic as far as to where you hit. And it's actually a lot harder.
Yeah.
You're like, shit! Thought I hit your head! So, first time through, if you're going to play it twice, first time through, do it with auto-aim. Second time, turn it off. It's a lot more fun that way. Cons, and this is kind of a personal con that I have that I feel that affects horror games, which is avatar strength. If you have a character that progressively gets stronger and stronger, it kind of defeats the purpose of the horror of the game. That's why Resident Evil in the beginning, right? Everyone remembers the first zombie because you're like, I'm gonna fight it. I've got fists and bolts, and that's it, right? Or if you're Chris, oh, fuck knife, damn it. You just have to deal. But when you add the weapons that you get and you progress towards later parts of the game, it doesn't feel, that level of fear isn't there anymore. And that's kind of the same thing happens with this game, because it is marketed as a survival horror. There's less horror and there's less survival when you get towards the end parts of the game. It's just more of like just running and doing chores. And that's kind of, unfortunately, a pitfall of the genre itself. And it's not Techland's fault. Maybe it is. But it's just something that does affect the horror as a whole. Traversing is pretty much a bitch in this game. There's no fast travel, and you don't really learn the better skills until later on in the game. I was telling Spencer before we started, your stamina gauge runs out incredibly quick. And seeing as how there isn't any... there's no game that I've played that I can think of where you have to run around and do quests and there isn't an alternate mode of transportation. Whether it's Destiny or Borderlands, there's always a different tool that you can use to get to a different area in that game, and that's not here. I understand that the game has parkour in it, but people don't want to run from one side of the map all the way to the other for something, just to turn in a quest, and then run all the way back to do a different quest. It becomes tedious, and at that point, the gamer kind of loses sight of the immersion of the game, because then you're just complaining at that point. A lot of the skills you learn to make you faster come way later in the game, which I don't think is that good of a decision, in my honest opinion. Story sucks. Parkour can be wonky. The parkour in the game, I've fallen to my death plenty of times, and I'm like, what the fuck? Where you'll jump and you'll reach for a ledge, but oh, look, Crane wasn't reaching for it, so now you just fell to your death on something. It primarily happens in the city area more so than it does in the slums. But one of the features in the game is you can jump onto like bags or onto people to like lessen the damage of the fall. And I've been killed once by landing on bags because my aim wasn't perfect on it. All in all, pretty much the game's not terrible. If you're a fan of zombies, if you're a fan of Dead Island, or if you haven't played Dead Island, then I would recommend this game. If you have played Dead Island, like I have, unfortunately, and you weren't really the biggest fan of it, I would not recommend that you play this game. You can wait and get it at a bargain bin, $20, play it with your friends, get some laughs in. Multiplayer's great, rather. Getting chased by a enemy, or you can have another player join your game and they can be like an enemy, like a super zombie sort. More of like the smoker in Left 4 Dead. They can like choke you up and then so that's kind of cool. But other than that, the game's pretty basic. Nothing too revolutionary. It's just a nice brain number, I guess.
Cool. Well, I'm Spencer.
And I'm still your boy Jake.
And I'm producer Eric. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to this video. We produce new videos
every week.
It's always Robert De Niro.
Yeah, every week. Videos.